A very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to today's webinar. Just ahead of launching into the webinar itself, please can I ask for your full attention while we play the following sponsor video.
Founded in 2003, Center Testing International Group Company Limited is the first GEM-tested company in Shenzhen and the first batch of listed company in China's testing industry. As the pioneer and leader of third-party testing and certification services in China, we provide a comprehensive solution that integrates testing, calibration, inspection, certification, and technical services based on China and covered globally. As an international and diversified professional certification and testing body, CTI has been recognized by China National Accreditation Service for Conformity Assessment and the United Kingdom Accreditation Service. It has also been recognized by the accreditation bodies and authoritative structures of many countries, such as the United States, Britain, Canada, Norway, Mexico, Germany, etc. The test report has broad credibility that is recognized by both domestic and foreign authorities. CTI deeply understands the nature of demands for testing and testing services in different fields. The testing services cover 7 major areas: consumer goods, engineering, construction and special inspection, environment, medicine, food safety, electrical appliances and industrial products, and transportation. With more than 20,000 testing items, it also provides related technical services covering inspection, auditing, certification, occupational safety and health, R&D and production of standard materials, judicial identification, etc., for users with different demands in different fields. CTI has established a number of overseas branches worldwide, and it has more than 60 branches and more than 130 professional laboratories in different fields.
Our thanks to CTI for that video, and a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gents, wherever you happen to be in the world, and welcome to today's webinar, which takes out of commission how to respond to a negative BWMS commissioning test as its theme. The webinar is part of Riviera's Ballast Water Webinar Week and will be approximately 45 minutes in duration. Today's event comes to us courtesy of our generous premier partner, Maritech, and is also sponsored by Control Union and Chelsea Technologies. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just before we get underway, I want to share with you key information that will support you in getting the most out of proceedings. First of all, please be assured we will direct you to the recording and materials after the webinar. Please submit your questions at any time because we do Q&A throughout the webinar, and any questions that we don't get to, we commit to coming back to you within a week of transmission, meaning there's every reason for you to get involved and send through your questions confident you're going to get answers. Please stay tuned into the end so you don't miss out. I guarantee that over the next 45 minutes, we'll be sharing powerful, original, and exclusive insights of real benefit to you and your operations. So do stay tuned. At the end of the webinar, we'll be circulating a link to an exit survey. Please take the minute or two to complete it, and in turn, we'll direct you to the presentations and recording. For enhanced viewing, please use the latest version of Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome, and in the unlikely event you lose sound, simply refresh and it will return. A word or two, ladies and gents, about your hosts, Riviera. Riviera Maritime Media is a maritime and offshore information specialist active in 4 areas: news, events, jobs, and data. To learn more, please visit our dedicated website, www.rivieramm.com. Well, ladies and gents, this is me, Edwin, and I'll be moderating proceedings today. And speaking of today, this is the ground we're going to be covering. Verification protocol of compliance monitoring devices. What is and isn't there? Is there a CMD that meets all requirements? If a commissioning test fails, what happens next? Will there be enough commissioning testers? How many reports are in the EBP database? And should the EBP be extended? This is our agenda, or in other words, how it's going to go. Presentations will be run consecutively and followed by open discussion. Please do submit your questions at any time because, as you know, we do Q&A throughout the webinar. At the end of the webinar, we'll share key takeaways and conclusions, and we'll also preview what's next. Well, what's next for us is meeting our panel. I'm delighted that Andreas is here, Andreas Lugridis. Andreas, of course, is EU Area Business Development Manager with Maritech. Also here today is Kees van Slooten. Kees is Project Manager, Ballast Water Testing Expert with Control Union Certifications. Sahan is here, Sahan Abesekara. Sahan is Principal Specialist, Lloyd's Register. And completing the set, I'm delighted Michael is here, Michael Haraldson. Michael, of course, is Sales and Business Development Manager with Chelsea Technologies. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, we really value your questions, so please do fire them in at will at any point during proceedings. Thank you very much indeed for joining us in such numbers and from near and far. High time we got to it. Our first presenter is Andreas. So Andreas, at the point you see your presentation on the screen, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Edwin. So good morning again and good afternoon to everyone participating in this webinar from wherever the world. So I will start with a small presentation of our company. So CTI Group specializes in inspection, testing, certification and consultancy in the fields of health, safety and environment. And CTI Maritech, which is the marine arm of CTI, provides certification and consultancy services for marine fuel quality and environmental regulatory services. Our portfolio includes water, fuel, and hazmat testing solutions, and we are one of the leading marine fuel testing labs globally, providing a worldwide network and support towards water testing and hazmat solutions. Of course, our company is fully approved by Lloyd's, ABS, and the DNV for water testing with further accreditations from SINAS for our testing labs. We are headquartered in Singapore, but we have regional representations worldwide, so we can service our clients almost everywhere in the world. These are the contents of the presentation that we will talk about today. I hope you will find the content very interesting and helpful. So what's the purpose of the ballast testing? The reason is very simple. All countries want to have their waters clean, free from pollution and contaminants, and this of course includes foreign marine species transferred during a water ballast operation. Apart from proper function of the equipment, which is usually verified in the factory, regulation requires also correct performance after installation to be verified. So that's the latest regulations. I will not stay very long to the regulation and the outcome of latest MEPCs. I assume that all of you are aware. I will, however, highlight that during MEPC 76, it was announced that the new standards, ISO 3725, will be followed for compliance monitoring devices. So draft of these standards will be ready on January this year, and the final guidelines will be ready within 2023. Some small information about the implementation dates. So implementation date starts in June 1st, 2022, this year, and the deadline for all vessels to comply is September 8th, 2024. Of course, there are some flags that we listed below that requires early implementation. So what's the steps involved in a commissioning testing? So the process includes 6 steps. We start from connection to the sampling port, and we filtrate at least 1 cubic meter of water ballast. During the filtration, we collect water into sample buckets, approximately 10 to 15 liters. Once during this operation, we also self-monitor the parameters like TRO, salinity, temperature, and UVT. And once the flow meter indicates that at least 1,000 liters of water is filtrated, then we will stop the ballast and we will take one liter of sample for analysis. So the analysis can be done in two different ways. It can be done either with indicative or with detailed analysis. The main difference is that indicative is done on board using a device, while the detailed, the sample has to be sent to the lab. The main difference, let's say, is that indicative is more quick and the estimate is rough, while the detailed analysis which is done in the lab is very robust and it is a direct measurement of the number of viable organisms. Of course, as a company, we are able to provide both ways, both options, so we can do it either indicative or details in our in-house labs or through partners labs where we don't have facilities, in areas that we don't have facilities. So that's, we usually face failed test. Through our experience last year with more than 250 projects, we came up with the most common reasons for a failed test. So we will say that the condition of tanks is number one. And then, of course, we have the quality of intake water, clog filters, sensors and UV lamps, intensity of UV lamps. And also we face some expired chemicals used in the equipment. Of course, improper installation and improper handling of the equipment by crew is some other reasons for failed test. That's that's a real case. You will see some photos here from the tanks before and after cleaning, and of course, you will see that the results are completely different. You will see that in the first case before cleaning, the result was way out the limits, but after the cleaning, the inspection was passed, the analysis was okay. Some other reason for failed test is the valve integrity effects. What actually it means that if the pipeline is not in a proper condition, in a good condition before sampling and during the analysis, let's say, it can cause problem because we have suction from either sea chest or from tanks that contain untreated water. Lastly, we are proud to announce that CTI was one of the parties, of the independent parties that participated in the experience-based phase. We contributed all our expertise and the outcome from our inspections to the World Maritime University. And that's all from me. Of course, at any given moment, you can send us an email with your inquiries, and you can always check our webpage for more information on our services. So back to you, Edwin.